Football gives us heroes, icons, and unforgettable moments. But sometimes, the game we love also delivers heartbreak.
We've had confirmation from authorities in Spain that the Liverpool striker Diogo Jota died in a car crash at the age of 28 in the early hours of this morning.
Over the last 25 years, dozens of professional players, in their prime, wearing their club or national colors, were taken far too soon. From sudden on-field collapses to tragic accidents off the pitch. These are stories that remind us how fragile life can be, even for the strongest athletes.
Today we honor the top 25 most known footballers who died during their active careers, celebrating their talent, their legacy, and the love they brought to millions of fans around the world.
Hichem Zerali was a Moroccan forward adored by Aberdeen fans, who nicknamed him Zero after he wore the squad number 0. On 4 December 2004, 27-year-old Zerali died in a car crash in his hometown of Rabat, Morocco. His sudden passing came just a year after leaving Aberdeen, where his flair and long-range goals made him a cult hero. The Dons held a memorial match in his honor, and Moroccan giants FUS Rabat named a section of their stadium after him. Fans in Aberdeen still fondly recall chants of 0-0 echoing at Patadri. Hichem Zerali's legacy endures through the joy he brought on the pitch and serves as a reminder of how one player's charisma can forge an everlasting bond between cultures.
Andrés Balanta was a Colombian defensive midfielder whose career had just started to flourish. On 29 November 2022, during a training session with Argentina's Atlético Tucumán, where he was on loan, 22-year-old Balanta collapsed suddenly. Despite rapid medical response, he was declared dead from suspected heart failure. Balanta's passing shocked both Colombia and Argentina. He had been a U20 international for Colombia and was seen as a future star for Deportivo Cali, with whom he won a league title in 2021. Moments of silence were observed at matches in both countries, and Deportivo Cali retired his number 5 jersey. Andrés Balanta is remembered for his bright smile, work ethic, and the poignant reminder that even young athletes can face hidden health risks. Niccolò Galli was a promising Italian defender and the son of former Azzurri goalkeeper Giovanni Galli. On 9 February 2001, 17-year-old Niccolò, who was on loan at Bologna from Arsenal's academy, tragically died in a scooter accident after a training session in Bologna. The accident shocked Italy, as Galli had been touted as a future national team player and had recently won the European U16 championship with Italy. Bologna retired his number 27 shirt, and Arsenal's academy honored him with a memorial. Niccolò's father established the Niccolò Galli Foundation to promote youth sports safety. Though his professional career had barely begun, Niccolò Galli's memory lives on as a symbol of unfulfilled potential and a reminder of the importance of supporting young athletes on and off the field. Miquel Miki Roque was a Spanish defender whose life was cut short by illness. A product of Liverpool's academy, Roque eventually found a home at Real Betis. In March 2011, at age 22, he was diagnosed with pelvic cancer, forcing him to retire during treatment. Betis and their fans rallied around Roque. An inspirational scene occurred when he lifted the Segunda Division trophy in 2011, despite undergoing chemotherapy. Sadly, on 24 June 2012, Roque passed away at just 23. His death was met with an outpouring of grief, a packed memorial service at Betis's stadium, tributes from former teammates like Steven Gerrard, and numerous dedications on social media. Betis retired his number 26 shirt and established the Miki Roque Youth Tournament in his honor. Miki Roque's legacy is one of bravery, hope, and the unity that football can inspire. Khairul Huda was an Indonesian goalkeeper and a one-club legend for Persela Lamongan, revered by fans as the Lord of the Lines. On 15 October 2017, during a Liga 1 match, the 38-year-old Huda collided with a teammate while bravely diving for a ball. He lost consciousness from the impact, and despite immediate treatment, was pronounced dead at the hospital due to trauma to head and neck. Huda's shocking death was captured on video and went viral, bringing global attention to Indonesian football's loss. Over his 18-year career at Persela, he made more than 500 appearances and was the club's captain and icon. Tens of thousands attended a candlelight vigil at the stadium. Khairul Huda's number 1 jersey was retired, and he remains a symbol of loyalty and courage for the Persela community. Phil O'Donnell was a Scottish midfielder and captain of Motherwell, who tragically died during a match. On 29 December 2007, at age 35, O'Donnell collapsed on the pitch moments after being substituted in a Scottish Premier League game. He suffered heart failure caused by a left ventricular failure. The loss of O'Donnell, a former Celtic player and 1991 Scottish champion with Motherwell, sent Scotland into mourning. Over 5,000 people attended his funeral, including legends of Scottish football. Motherwell renamed a stand at Fir Park in his memory and retired his number 10 jersey. Phil O'Donnell is remembered not only for his talent and leadership, but for his devotion to family and the graceful way he conducted himself. A true gentleman of the game whose legacy lives on in Lanarkshire. Kleber Santana was a Brazilian midfielder and captain of Chapecoense, one of 71 victims in the tragic Chapecoense team plane crash on 28 November 2016. Santana, 35, had enjoyed a long career, including a stint at Atletico Madrid, and was the experienced leader of the underdog Chapecoense squad that had reached the Copa Sudamericana final. En route to the final, their chartered flight went down in Colombia. The heartbreaking loss of Santana and most of his teammates united the football world in grief. Tributes poured in from top clubs and players worldwide. Chapecoense were posthumously declared co-champions, and Santana's name lives on. The club's training center now bears his name. Kleber Santana's legacy is one of leadership, humility, and the unity he inspired in the face of unspeakable tragedy.
This was the scene on board before takeoff. On the way to the biggest game in the club's history, the team is in good spirits. And so is the crew.
Marcos Danilo Padilha was the goalkeeper of Chapecoense and a hero of the club's Cinderella run to the Copa Sudamericana final. It was Danilo's last second save in the semi-final that secured Chapecoense's spot in the final, a moment that made his name known across Brazil. Tragically, Danilo, 31, lost his life in the Chapecoense plane crash on 28 November 2016, just days after that heroic save. He initially survived the crash and was taken to a hospital, but succumbed to his injuries hours later. Danilo's final words reportedly were asking about the match result, epitomizing his fighting spirit. His death deeply moved fans. Thousands attended a memorial at Chapeco, and the club's main training field was renamed in his honor. Danilo is forever remembered as a symbol of hope, bravery, and selfless team spirit. Joseph Šural was a Czech forward who tragically lost his life in a minibus crash. On 29th of April 2019, Šural and several Alanyaspor teammates were traveling from an away match in Turkey when their van overturned. Šural, 28, suffered fatal injuries. The news of his death stunned the Czech football community. Šural had 20 caps and 1 goal for the Czech Republic and had captained Sparta Prague before moving to Turkey. Teammates described him as a positive, hard-working professional. Alanyaspor retired his number 90, and tributes flowed from the Czech Republic, including a moment of silence at all league games. Joseph Šural's legacy endures as a reminder of the importance of road safety and the unity of the football family in mourning one of their own. Ahmet Çalık was a Turkish defender who had represented his country and played for top clubs in Turkey. On the 11th of January 2022, 27-year-old Çalık died in a car accident near Ankara. He reportedly lost control of his vehicle on an icy road. The news of his passing deeply saddened Turkish football. Salih had earned 8 caps for Turkey and was a beloved teammate at Konyaspor, where he was known for his professionalism and smile. Konyaspor retired his number 6 jersey in tribute, and thousands attended his funeral. Ahmet Çalık's death served as a heartbreaking reminder of life's fragility, and he is remembered fondly by fans of all the clubs he served. Patrick Ekeng was a Cameroonian midfielder who tragically died during a match in Romania. On 6 May 2016, playing for Dinamo Bucharest, 26-year-old Ekeng collapsed just 7 minutes after coming on as a substitute. He suffered a cardiac arrest on the field and was rushed to the hospital, but doctors could not revive him. Ekeng's passing sent shockwaves through Cameroon and Romania. He had appeared for Cameroon at the 2015 African Cup of Nations and was a popular figure at his clubs. His death sparked investigations into the quality of emergency medical care at stadiums, with several officials later found guilty of negligence. Patrick Ekeng is mourned as a talented player whose life ended far too soon, and his memory now compels greater care for players' health on and off the pitch. Pier Mario Morosini was an Italian midfielder whose career was marked by resilience through personal tragedy. On 14 April 2012, while playing on loan for Livorno in a Serie B match at Pescara, the 25-year-old Morosini suddenly collapsed on the pitch due to cardiac arrest. Despite frantic efforts, he was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. Italy was stunned. Morosini had been a former U21 international and was beloved as a golden boy by teammates and fans. His death raised urgent questions about emergency response at stadiums, leading to improved medical protocols in Italian football. Clubs across Italy retired Morosini's number 25 in tribute. He is remembered for his talent, humility, and the courage he showed in life, despite having lost both parents at a young age. A truly inspirational figure gone too soon. Senzo Maiwa was the charismatic captain and goalkeeper of South Africa's national team and a star for Orlando Pirates. On 26 October 2014, the 30-year-old Maiwa was shot and killed during an armed robbery at a house near Johannesburg. He was reportedly protecting his girlfriend when intruders broke in and opened fire. South Africa was stunned by the loss of its national hero. Maiwa had been leading the national side and had amassed 7 caps. Thousands of fans attended memorial services to honor Maiwa's memory, and tributes hailed his bravery and leadership. His tragic death led to calls for justice, with a high-profile trial years later, and greater efforts to combat gun violence. Senzo Maiwa is remembered as a fearless leader whose life was cruelly cut short. Bernard Jr. Malanda was a highly touted Belgian midfielder who had recently broken into VfL Wolfsburg's first team. On 10 January 2015, the 20-year-old Malanda was killed in a highway car accident in Germany. He was a passenger in an SUV that lost control in wet conditions and struck a tree. Malanda died at the scene. The news devastated the football community. Wolfsburg teammates and fans mourned a life cut far too short. The club dedicated their 2015 German Cup victory to Malanda's memory, and his jersey number 19 was retired. Junior Malanda's promise and bright smile are remembered by all who saw him play, and his tragic end reinforced the need for road safety awareness among young athletes. Christian Chucho Benitez was a prolific Ecuadorian striker, a 3-time scoring champion in Mexico's Liga MX and former Premier League player. He earned 58 caps for Ecuador and scored 24 international goals. In July 2013, just days after debuting for Qatar's El Jaish, the 27-year-old Benitez was rushed to a hospital with severe stomach pains and went into cardiac arrest. Doctors could not save him, and he tragically died of heart failure, later linked to peritonitis. His sudden passing shocked fans in Ecuador and Mexico, where he was a beloved champion with Club America. Thousands attended memorials for Chucho, and his former clubs paid tribute to his joyful style and goal-scoring talent. Christian Benitez's legacy endures as a reminder of his vibrant life and the fragility of health even for an elite athlete. Dani Jarque was the newly appointed captain of RCD Espanyol and a beloved one-club man. A tough yet elegant central defender, Jarque helped Espanyol win the 2006 Copa del Rey and reach the 2007 UEFA Cup final. On 8 August 2009, during a preseason tour in Italy, the 26-year-old Jarque died suddenly of heart failure in his hotel room. He had collapsed while talking to his girlfriend on the phone. She was expecting their first child, and club doctors and paramedics' desperate efforts could not revive him. The loss of Jarque devastated his teammates. One minute he was there with them, and the next he's gone. "It's terrible," said an Espanyol director in shock. The football world paid tribute. Most famously, Spain's Andrés Iniesta dedicated his winning goal in the 2010 World Cup final to Jarque, revealing a shirt that read "Dani Jarque, siempre con nosotros," always with us. Espanyol retired Jarque's number 21 jersey, ensuring his legacy endures forever in the club he loved. Miklós Fehér was a Hungarian striker who had found success in Portugal, playing for Benfica. On 25 January 2004, the 24-year-old Fehér came on as a substitute during a league match in Guimarães. In stoppage time shortly after providing an assist, Fehér suddenly collapsed backward onto the pitch. Teammates and medics rushed to his aid, and he was taken to the hospital, but by midnight his death was confirmed. He had suffered a fatal cardiac arrhythmia brought on by undiagnosed hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. The image of Fehér's last smiling face moments before he fell remains etched in football history. In his memory, Benfica retired his number 29 shirt, and tributes poured in from around the world. Miklós Fehér's tragic passing profoundly shocked Portuguese and Hungarian football, and he is forever remembered in both nations as a symbol of passion and the fragility of life. Antonio Puerta was a talented Spanish left wing-back who spent his entire career at his boyhood club Sevilla, famously scoring the extra-time goal that sent the club to the 2006 UEFA Cup final. A new father-to-be and a rising star, Puerta's life met a heartbreaking end at just 22 years old. On 25 August 2007, he suddenly collapsed during a league match due to cardiac arrest. Though he managed to walk off initially, Puerta suffered multiple further collapses in the dressing room and was rushed to intensive care. He fought for 3 days, but on 28 August 2007 he passed away, the result of a hereditary heart condition. Puerta's death shook Spanish football. Thousands attended his funeral, and Sevilla retired his number 16 jersey in his honor. He is remembered as a symbol of Sevilla's spirit, and the club's youth tournament now bears his name, ensuring Antonio Puerta's legacy lives on. Robert Enke was a German goalkeeper of immense talent and gentle personality who played for clubs like Benfica, Barcelona, and Hannover 96. By 2009, he had earned 8 caps for Germany and was widely expected to be his country's starting keeper at the 2010 World Cup. Yet behind the successes, Enke silently battled severe depression. On 10 November 2009, tragically, he took his own life at age 32, a loss that left the football world in shock and sorrow. Thousands of fans gathered in Hannover Stadium to bid farewell, and teammates remembered a kind, humble man who always put others first. Enke's death prompted a nationwide conversation about mental health in sports. His wife Teresa established a foundation in his name to help those suffering from depression. Robert Enke's legacy endures not only in his brilliant saves on the pitch, but in the awareness and compassion his story brought to light. Cheick Tiote was a tenacious Ivorian defensive midfielder best known for his 7 years at Newcastle United, where he became a fan favorite, not least for his stunning last-minute volley that sealed a 4-4 comeback against Arsenal. Internationally, Tiote earned 52 caps for Côte d'Ivoire, featuring at 2 World Cups and helping his nation win the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations. In June 2017, while training with his club in China, the 30-year-old Tiote suddenly collapsed and was rushed to a hospital, but tragically could not be revived. The news sent shockwaves through Tyneside and the football world. Former teammates and coaches paid tribute to Tiote's professionalism, huge heart, and relentless spirit. Though his life was cut short, Cheick Tiote is remembered as a giant of a midfielder whose passion and strength inspired everyone around him. Marc-Vivien Foé was a powerhouse midfielder for Cameroon known for his strength and kind heart, who starred in France and England during his club career. A 2-time Africa Cup of Nations champion, Foé earned 62 caps and scored 8 goals for his country. On 26 June 2003, during a FIFA Confederations Cup semi-final, the 28-year-old suddenly collapsed on the field and tragically died that same day. An undiagnosed heart condition, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, was later identified as the cause. The football world was stunned and deeply shaken. Teammates, opponents, and fans united in grief for a player who always gave his all. In tribute, Manchester City and Lens retired Foé's jersey numbers. Though he left us in the middle of the game he loved, Marc-Vivien Foé's legacy lives on as a symbol of passion, talent, and the fragility of life and sport. Emiliano Sala was a prolific Argentine striker whose dream move to the Premier League turned into unimaginable tragedy. After rising to stardom in France with FC Nantes, where he scored 42 goals and became the club's leading scorer for 3 straight seasons, Sala had just secured a record $15 million transfer to Cardiff City in January 2019. On 21 January 2019, the small plane carrying the 28-year-old to his new club vanished over the English Channel. A desperate search ensued, and 2 weeks later, the wreckage was found on the seabed. Sala had perished in the crash. The football world was heartbroken. Fans in Nantes, Cardiff, and Argentina held vigils, leaving flowers and scarves in his memory. Emiliano Sala's tragic fate underscored the fragility of life, coming just as his football journey reached new heights, and he remains mourned as a player whose story touched hearts across continents. Davide Astori was the respected captain of Fiorentina and an Italian national team defender, a stalwart center-back with 14 Azzurri caps and 1 international goal. Astori was revered for his calm leadership on and off the pitch. Tragically, on 4th March 2018, Astori was found dead in his hotel room before a match, having suffered a sudden cardiac arrest in his sleep. He was only 31. The news devastated the football community. Thousands of fans and players gathered in Florence to bid an emotional farewell to their grande capitano at an emotional funeral. In Astori's honor, Fiorentina and Cagliari retired his number 13 jersey. Though his life was cut short, Davide Astori's legacy endures as a symbol of loyalty, sportsmanship, and unity that continues to inspire the football world. José Antonio Reyes was an electrifying Spanish winger who rose through Sevilla's ranks and became a star on the global stage. A prodigy who debuted at 16 and later joined Arsenal, he helped the Invincibles win the 2003-04 Premier League and eventually achieved a record 5 UEFA Cup Europa League titles with Sevilla. In June 2019, at just 35, Reyes' life was tragically cut short in a car accident. The news sent shockwaves through football. Fans and former teammates mourned the loss of a player known for his skill, passion, and warm personality. From London to Seville, tributes poured in celebrating Reyes's brilliant career and the joy he brought to the game. His legacy as a gifted player and a beloved figure in Spanish football endures even after his untimely passing. Diogo Jota was a beloved star for Liverpool and Portugal, known for his electrifying attacking play and humble demeanor. In July 2025, just weeks after celebrating a league title and his wedding, Jota's life was cut tragically short when he and his younger brother died in a horrific car accident in Spain. The football world was stunned. Jota had earned 49 caps for Portugal, scoring 14 goals and providing 12 assists, and he was a key figure in Liverpool's recent successes. Tributes poured in from teammates, coaches, and fans worldwide. Though his journey ended far too soon at age 28, Jota's legacy of thrilling goals and his humble, hard-working, kind spirit will never be forgotten. Every player we've remembered today left a mark far greater than goals or trophies. They inspired teammates, lifted fans, and gave everything to the beautiful game. Though their lives ended too soon, their legacies live on in every chant, every memory, and every young footballer who dreams of following in their footsteps. Let us never forget them. If you found this tribute meaningful, consider sharing it so more people can remember these players. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that celebrate both the joy and the humanity of football.